Hello, everybody, and welcome to this exclusive interview as part of the Supernova 2023 conference from Next Gen Planners, which is three huge events, lots of big ideas, and of course, the great people who make those conferences what they are. In this interview, we're going to be chatting with one of our keynote speakers. So we've got loads of people who are speaking as part of the Speaker and Influencer program, but the keynote speakers are finishing the event for us with their brilliant talks. And one of those is here with me this morning, and that is Izzy from Foundervine. How are you doing this morning, Izzy?
I am doing very well, Dan. Great to be here.
No, it's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us on this interview, and of course, for agreeing to be part of our event and for taking part in all of our community stuff as well. So, as we mentioned there, you will be one of the keynote speakers on stage. And I guess what I could do is I could explain who you are and what you do, but the likelihood is that I would probably mess it up and undersell you massively and get it all wrong. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to ask you, can you just tell us a little bit about your story, the cool things that you get up to, and what you usually talk about as well?
Absolutely. So I am Izzy Obeng. I'm an entrepreneur. I am a speaker. I'm a business advisor, and I'm an investor as well. And I spend a lot of time working with incredible founders and social entrepreneurs and individuals who are building really cool innovations and support them in figuring out how to scale, how to raise investment, and how to really truly build those businesses that are going to transform our economy. So super passionate about supporting founders to grow successful businesses, and super passionate about helping individuals, particularly those from less seen communities, underserved communities as we call them, realize their potential as well.
Yeah, that was the really kind of inspiring part of for me seeing what you guys do at Foundervine. That was the bit that really struck. As people may know, one of our values at NextGen is that, you know, to increase innovation, but also to increase inclusivity as well. And the value just completely matched with you guys and Foundervine. If anyone's watching this hasn't checked out the work of Foundervine, then go and have a look, because they are doing some really cool things, not just themselves, but working with organizations to try and make change as well. And it's a really inspiring story. So through those different programs and all the different work you do and campaigns and all that kind of stuff, you, as you mentioned, you help young entrepreneurs to try and get their ideas off the ground. And it's something that we're known for in the UK, is like the strong entrepreneurship. And I think that's definitely true. There is a high level of entrepreneurship in the UK. But are you seeing a kind of rise in entrepreneurship, or like, how is it looking at the moment? What is the state of entrepreneurship like in the UK? I guess with the interesting thing thrown in, of course, is that it's a cost of living crisis at the moment. So like how is that affecting things, and what does entrepreneurship look like in the UK at the moment?
Great question. And we are definitely seeing a rise in entrepreneurship. We're seeing a rise in individuals, particularly post COVID, who have realized that they want to have a go at working for themselves and having a go at creating and building things. And there's a big kind of boost in the number of people who've registered businesses, especially since COVID. And also, we've also seen a number of people running more social impact focused organizations. The events of June 2020 and the George Floyd incident, and the several kind of different challenges we've had in terms of women access to employment and access to entrepreneurship, has meant that there's been a real drive towards getting a more kind of inclusive business sector, and a bigger drive towards increasing access to investment as well, which has encouraged more people to start and grow businesses. So at the moment, I'm seeing a huge boost in terms of support and training and knowledge and advice for those who want to start businesses, but crucially, increases in funding for businesses as well. This year, we've seen a bit of a slight decline in terms of access to finance, and that's for a number of reasons, particularly kind of investor shyness in this time that we're in. But critically, what we are seeing is an increase in access to finance for people who are tackling sustainability issues, and people who are addressing different challenges around inclusivity in our economy as well. And so a really interesting shift in who is actually going to build the businesses of the future, I'd say.
Yeah, that's very, very positive spin on it there. I love that.
I have to be optimistic in my line of work.
Of course we do. It's really, I mean, it's a great thing to hear. It is, and like you said, there's a lot of things being thrown in there at the moment. With lack of security and all these different things that we're feeling at the moment as a country, anyways. So I think it would be very, very natural to think that entrepreneurship would slightly decrease at a time like this as well. But I certainly, I mean, maybe just I surround myself with the right people, but I certainly am not seeing any decrease in our profession anyways. If anything, I think people are wanting to start more, which is fascinating to see. And again, let's just kind of pivot to our profession for a second. I know that you're not you're not in financial planning and you're not in the profession. You might know of it to some extent, but I don't think anyone sees it as a diverse profession just yet. I think the reputation of it certainly is not that it is diverse yet. There are lots of other professions which aren't diverse as well, but certainly the financial services sector as a whole is not known as a diverse industry. This is a huge question for you, and I don't expect you to have the answer. We don't have the answer. I don't think anyone has the answer just yet. But from the work that you've been doing with other professions and other people in all different sectors, what do you think that the financial planning profession and the financial services sector can do to really increase that diversity and inclusion in our profession and kind of change the face of how we look to the rest of the world?
Absolutely. So you're right. It's an absolutely huge question, and there's so many angles you can take for it. But for me, I think there are kind of two major things that I see us needing to do. There's a piece around building a more inclusive way to get access to the financial planning sector and become a financial advisor, a financial planner. And there's also the place that exists in building trust and building access for communities in terms of getting the support that they need. That is contextualized to the specific challenges that communities face. So on the front of actually increasing access to the profession, we still have a huge challenge in our education system where we are not actually teaching young people about financial planning. And that is compounded based on where you go to school. So it's not just inclusion in the sense of people from minority backgrounds or women. It's kind of like a challenge we have across our ecosystem that really depends on that lottery of where you go to school and who you know. That gives you an understanding of the profession, that gives you an understanding of the kind of skills and competencies you need to actually get into the industry. And then in terms of the trust issues in different communities, there are still big issues in terms of the wealth gap between different communities. And a lot of that comes from a lack of education around the options available to you. Sometimes it comes from a distrust of banks and financial institutions. A lot of people don't actually understand much about pensions. They don't understand much about investing and actually protecting their wealth and growing their wealth and having opportunities to have more forms of passive income. And so there's a real opportunity I think the industry has to actually just show up in the conversation around inclusion in terms of financial planning and support people in getting really specific access to the knowledge that they need in order to be successful financially.
Yeah. It's a great point, and I think we've discussed that lots of times in our community as well about this. Like, we're never going to get more people into our profession to make it diverse and inclusive unless we change the overall kind of perspective of the way it looks in amongst the general public. But also, I think perhaps there is a bit of misunderstanding about what financial planning actually is. People think of it as, like you just mentioned there, pensions, investments, all that kind of producty stuff. But then when they actually see it in practice and see the changes it makes to people's lives, it comes completely different. And I think if we can get that out there into the world of, it's not about all the products, it's not about the money, it's not about the investments, it's about you and your life, how you can feel more comfortable. That then starts to have the ripple effect, and then it goes down very well. But yeah, I agree with everything you've just said then.
I agree. There's a big piece there around empowering people and what financial freedom looks like. And it looks different for everyone, doesn't it? But the
Yeah,
opportunity to have financial freedom, nobody would turn that down. But still,
yeah,
too few of us access the people and the support that we need in order to do that. And so, yeah, you're right. There's an absolute opportunity we all have to increase access to the profession because of that.
yeah, absolutely. And financial freedom as well. Like, for many people who you say that to, it's probably going to be their first time of hearing that phrase, and they'll
Mm.
think, I don't even know what that means. And I think if we could get that out there into the world, that will make a huge difference as well. But yeah, it's a very, very interesting and growing topic, and there's lots of great people in our profession who are doing fantastic work in this area. So the topic is in good hands at the moment. I just want to touch on a little bit of a teaser for people. So we've already sold loads of tickets and everything like that. For those people, and for anyone who's thinking about coming, what kind of topics are you going to be covering on the day in your talk? Again, don't give too much away, but just a kind of little teaser about what you're thinking about talking about on the day.
Absolutely. And we've already touched on it. I think there's a really big question about what a world looks like where there are fewer social and economic barriers towards financial freedom. What does it mean for more people in our communities, in our society, to have access to the support and the resources and the people that they need to be fruitful, to be successful? And what does it mean for our profession as well? So that's going to be a big focus of my talk, really galvanizing the people in the room to ask themselves, what does it mean for me to create this future, and how can I get stuck in? So hopefully a really exciting one.
This is the thing. I always ask this question to people who are going to talk at our events, and then it frustrates me because I just want to hear it now. And I should never ask that question because I'm too impatient. But yeah, that sounds really good. I'm sure we're in for a massive treat. I love those kind of things where it's a bit of a call to action and to say to everyone, rather than just giving you some ideas, let's start today. Let's actually figure out what we're going to do today. And I think they really do have a big impact. So it should be very good. I'm excited for that. Just finally, to finish, if people want to find out more about Foundervine, if people want to connect with you, and if people want to just kind of figure out a bit more about what you get up to, where should they go?
Yes, so if anyone wants to find out more about Foundvine and the work that we do supporting entrepreneurs to start up, scale up, and raise investment, please have a look at us, www.foundervine.com. We are on all social media channels, and I'm also available to connect with Izzy Obeng. So really, really looking forward to Supernova, really looking forward to sparking, hopefully quite a thought-provoking discussion. But before then, please do check us out.
Brilliant. Well, yeah, go and check Izzy and the team out because they're doing some fantastic things, and we're really looking to have it. Really looking forward to having her talk at our conference. So, thank you so much, Izzy. It's been a pleasure. For anyone who's watching this and who's still here after 15 minutes, if you want to go and get tickets, you can do so at the URL, which is at the top of the screen, just there, and that's nextgenplanners.co.uk/conference. As we're recording this, we've currently got early bird tickets on sale, and probably when we release it, they'll still be on sale as well. So go and get those if you're a Next Gen Planners member. But it's open to everyone, so you don't need to be a Next Gen Planners member to join the conference. And just for anyone who doesn't know, the conference is going to be in May and June next year. Like it says at the bottom of the screen there, it's going to be 3 events, and it's going to be a mixture of 2 virtual and 1 in person in Manchester in June 2023. But it's going to be great fun. Izzy's going to be there. A lot of great people are going to be there as well. Please do come along. It'll be great fun. But other than that, thank you so much to Izzy for joining us today. Thank you guys for watching as always, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Bye bye.